Hello, everybody. Welcome to GM Sports Report, your weekly podcast on all things sports where every play counts. I'm Grant, and I'm here with my co-host Mason as we get ready to cover the latest news, headlines, and upcoming events going on in the sports world. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to see all things GM Sports Report. Mason, how are you doing today?
Doing good, Grant. It's getting chilly out. It's getting to the nice part of the seasons for us. We're gonna have a good solid 2 months of cold weather. But yeah, how you doing, man?
Yeah, it felt pretty good out today. Got in the
Yep.
40s at one point. So, for us
Mm-hmm.
Floridians, that's pretty cold. But
Yeah.
we got a lot of sports news to talk about, so we'll go ahead and begin with that because we are not meteorologists. So we'll start out with our hot take of the week. Mason, what is your hot take for this week?
My hot take is that Jonathan Taylor deserves to win MVP. I'm sick of seeing it going to quarterbacks. This one is worthy of actually winning an MVP. Saquon, sure, he didn't get the touchdowns last year. If he can maintain this and stay on the track that he's going, he should win MVP because him against the Falcons, I think it was the past week, 244 yards, 3 touchdowns, 7.6 yards per carry on the season, 1,139 yards, 15 touchdowns, and he still got 7 games left. So if he can stay on this path, stay consistent, and continue to score those touchdowns and win those games like he has been, because I think he is a much bigger factor than people are giving him credit for on this offense of the Indianapolis Colts and this win streak, or just this winning season. I think he deserves to win MVP, and it's been so long since it hasn't been a quarterback. So I think NFL fans are wanting it, and I think he's the right guy to get it. So that is my hot take.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. We were actually both talking about this in last week's episode, how it felt like he should definitely be getting looks at MVP if he stays at this rate. And as we can see, he's continuing to dominate every week.
I
And
think, yeah,
I, I think this is the time to do it. Like I get it usually goes to a quarterback, but when you think of most valuable player, and you think
yes,
about that team specifically,
yeah,
for instance, it's not Daniel Jones, it's Jonathan Taylor.
no,
And you look
yes,
at across the league, there's so many players on teams like Devon Achane. He's the most valuable player on the Dolphins. Like it's
hmm
time to kind of change the narrative of this award and start giving it to the actual most valuable players in the league. And that for right
yep.
now is Jonathan Taylor. So I 100% agree with you. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not, but I think
Got
it
to be
should if
this
he
year
stays at
though.
this rate.
If it's not this
It
year,
has
it's
to.
not going to happen in a very long time. So
I agree. I agree.
yeah,
All right. My hot take of the week is also Colts related, but I'm not going in the direction you're going. My hot take is that I think the New York Jets won the Sauce Gardner trade. Sauce
yeah,
Gardner is
yeah.
a great player. Colts made a win now decision and traded for a good corner, but they gave up 2 first-round picks and a
Ooh,
young wide receiver. Um, so
yep.
I just feel like they gave up a lot, and I think the Jets really benefit off that because it's not like they're winning anytime soon, so they didn't need Sauce Gardner at all. And they made out like bandits, in my opinion. Like, when do you ever see 2 first-round picks for a corner? Like, that's a pretty crazy trade. Uh,
It's,
and then getting
it's
a
insane.
skills player on top of that. So like I think they made out pretty good. I think it's a trade that both teams are going to benefit from. Don't get me wrong, but for what the Jets were trying to accomplish, they accomplished that and more. So yeah, that's my hot take.
I think that the upside for the Jets is way higher than the upside for the Colts just from this trade alone, because I feel like we've seen the cap of Sauce Gardner in his, younger years as a Jet, and I don't know if he can, get back to that or get even better than that. But 2 first-round picks, sure, it's the Jets organization and they could screw it up, but it could be something that saves the franchise and be exactly what that organization needs. So I completely agree with that. I was texting you when it first happened. Jets got away with, highway robbery right there. So I think it's big for them. I'm excited to see what the draft looks like, not only for the Jets, but for the Giants as well. But yeah, it'll be very interesting to see.
Yeah. I also just have like a kind of a question. Do you think like Sauce is even like a top 5 corner in the league right now? Because outside of the early stages of his career where he was like excellent, I feel like he's really just like a good corner, not like a fantastic corner. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's hard to it's not a position that you can easily point out 5, good players at the position because
Fair enough.
it's a very media, driven position, kinda like lineman where who's good off of what the media tells you. They're not a position that when they're playing good, they get the recognition. If they're playing good, you don't hear from them at all, and that's kind of how it is. So the only player you kind of know is good is Pat Surtain, and other than that, there's a lot of different names, but I would agree, and I do not think he's a top 5 corner right now. So yeah,
Yeah, I was just wondering. There's only
yeah.
two corners in football that I'm trading 2 first-round picks for, and that's Pat Surtain and Christian Gonzalez from the Patriots. Those are the only two
Even
corners I consider that
even
for.
Gonzalez is struggling too, so that would be,
Yeah.
stretch, but yeah, like, you don't hear a lot of names, so it's interesting.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out for both teams. I get, when the Colts
Mhm.
are in a position like they are, they have a good, solid team. Go make a win now move. That's what they did. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think the Jets, for what they were trying to accomplish, I think they had the better side of the bargain.
Absolutely.
All right. Now we're going to go ahead and slide into our underdog of the week. So, Mason, who's your underdog for this week?
So I went with what could be, I think it's still way too early to tell, but a name for a candidate of six man of the year, and that's Quentin Grimes. I could honestly see him sneaking his way, maybe to the bottom part. What are you smiling about? Go ahead and say it.
Uh, I'm really sorry to bring this up because it's going to sound biased, but the sixth man of the year right now is Jaime Jaquez Jr.
I said candidate. I said
Okay,
candidate.
okay, okay, okay.
I
I'll let
said
you
like
continue. I'm
lower end
sorry. The
candidate.
bias in me
I was
had to
getting
get that off my chest. I'll let you continue now.
okay. Go for it. Go for it. I just saw you smirking. I couldn't have gone through the
No,
whole way
it's okay. Go
being like,
ahead. Go ahead.
"Dang,
I'm sorry.
do I not know ball or something?"
No, no,
Okay,
you're good.
so last 5 games he has 18 points per game. He put up 27 in that loss against Cleveland, but I think he's a great player off the bench for that 76ers organization. I don't usually give credit to Philly in any way, shape, or form, but they look decent coming into this year, especially from what they were anticipated to be. They're 6-4 right now. Kind of getting their young guys back, getting into the swing of things. McCain started to play again. I think he might be on a little bit of a minutes restriction. I'm not too sure. Again, I don't watch too much of them. But VJ Edgecombe's been amazing. So if Quentin Grimes can get in that mix and kind of do what he can do, because he's getting like 30 minutes a game, which is pretty big for a bench guy like that. So yeah, if he continues, I could see him being in that run. But yeah, that's my underdog of the week.
Yeah, he has been a big part of their success, and he was last year when they had very little success. He was one of the bright spots on that team.
Hmm.
He had that month stretch where he was averaging like 30 points. I'm pretty sure. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I agree that he'll be a candidate, but I do not agree that he
That's all
will
I
win.
said. That's all
I
I
know, I
said.
know. All right, for my underdog of the week, this is a guy that so many fantasy managers were waiting on his breakout game, and it finally happened. And that is the New England Patriots running back Trayvon Henderson, who had
Uh-huh.
his breakout game for 14 carries for 147 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns, both of those being 50-yard plus runs. Just a really good game by him and his speed. I mean, he looked so fast when he was running those touchdowns. He was ahead of everyone by so much on his second touchdown where he was looking over to his coaches to see if he should go down or go into the end zone. That's how fast he was running. And it really just made me scratch my head and wonder why Ramondre Stevenson was getting like the leader in snaps to begin this season, because I think this guy is way more talented than Ramondre Stevenson. So yeah, that's my underdog of the week. Fantasy managers can now rejoice. Trayvon Henderson is here.
Yeah, I think I really like that pick. I think it's just something you see with the running backs like that. Because I've been, seeing it for a very long time. Coming into the league, Christian McCaffrey wasn't a starter right off the bat. He had it was like Jonathan Stewart was in over him, and he was well past his playing days. But he kind of got CMC acclimated. Then he became, the player he was. And then you kind of see with Najee Harris, even this year, he was going to come in and be the starter. And then Amarion Hampton, which would have absolutely taken the reins if he wasn't, in an injury situation. But yeah, Travion Henderson. I'm going to talk about him in a little bit, but yeah, he's phenomenal. Very good pick.
Yeah. All right. Now we're gonna stay in the NFL. We're gonna slide over to our game predictions update. This is where on Instagram and TikTok, Mason and I predict every single game every single week. The record now stands. I am at a 102-46 record. Mason, you are at a 96-52 record. We both had a 9-5 week.
Gosh.
Yeah, we split on the two games that we disagreed on, so no movement in those stand-ins. But that's okay.
Goodness. Yeah. No, it's not.
It's okay. It's all right. You got time. You still got time. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and slide over to kind of a headline that broke. This kind of has to do with Mason more than me because Mason is a fan of the Giants. But Brian Daboll has been fired from the New York Giants coaching staff. Mason, are you happy about this? Sad about this? What are your thoughts on this firing?
It's so many mixed emotions because what I wanted to see was a whole package deal. I have always liked Brian Daboll. I thought last season that we should have given him more time. This season, everything was just stacked up against him with the hardest schedule in the league, and then let alone all the injuries on players who would have made this team competitive as far as winning games, and then just a defensive coordinator who just literally I think is going to be with him in a Class A on like betting against themselves. So it's just I it's something where like he kind of had to go, but not only do I want to see him go, I want to see the whole him, GM, and defensive coordinator go at the same time. But instead, right now we still have our defensive coordinator who I thought should have been gone weeks ago, and our GM is staying. Which I If it was up to our GM and not Brian Dable, we would have had Shedeur Sanders, and he probably would have been starting. So that kind of shows you what his opinions are. And I don't think if it was up to him, Jackson Dart would have played at all this year. So Dable, tremendous credit on making the Giants fun to watch as little as we were able to get with that 22 playoff run, and then what little fun we had this year. But yeah, it sucks to see him go. I really liked him. He's probably my favorite coach since Coughlin and the actual winning days. But yeah, it's bittersweet. We'll see what happens. If we get Gruden, all's forgiven. But yeah.
Yeah. From the outside looking in this situation, I kind of agree with you. He was dealt a bad hand this season.
Oh yeah.
Like all the injuries that have happened. I mean, I was just thinking about this the other day. I'm not just saying this. Like, you don't make me regret saying this, but I was thinking like,
I'm not.
if the Giants had stayed healthy, like with how weak the NFC East is right now, with the Cowboys and the Commanders situation going on, I could have seen them being in second place in the NFC East and maybe fighting for a wild card spot. I think they had a lot of talent and they're headed in the right direction, but obviously that started with the Neighbors injury, then Scadaboo, now Dart. It's just one thing after another, and it's kind of hard as a head coach to be able to do this while having such a tough schedule, like you said. But the media
There's got to be
points out these
changes.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be changes. There's now been 3 games where you've had a 90% or more chance to win the game and they've lost. 4 games now where they're up 10 in the fourth quarter and they lose all those games. So
But our defensive coordinator stays.
Yeah, exactly. Am I surprised that they fired Dable? No, but do I think that it was like do I? Yeah, exactly. Like if Mike McDaniel can stay right now for the rest of the season, like they're letting him, then Dable definitely should be able to stay the rest of the season. That's my take on that. But
Yeah.
I can see where they're coming from with the firing, but I just don't know if that was like the right move. But we'll see.
Yeah, I have no idea who we're gonna pick up, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. Now we're going to go ahead and slide over to our 3 takeaways. So Mason, I'll let you go ahead and start with that.
All right, so my first takeaway is the Patriots beating the Bucks 28-23. Drake May had another phenomenal game, 270 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did have an interception, which I thought would really change the game, but Buccaneers offense kind of stalled out. Baker Mayfield did have another good game, 273 yards, 3 touchdowns. He was really one of the only guys in the offense that was able to do anything. Travion Henderson, as you mentioned before, his breakout game, 147 yards, 2 touchdowns, and kind of who could have been an underdog potential candidate this week. I could have picked him was Mac Hollins. He had 106 yards. He was really making some big plays. It's kind of like was that Mac again? And then yeah, he's just doing his thing. And then Emeka Egbuka, I think he's kind of back into the full swing of things, being healthy again. 115 yards and that touchdown. Kind of sucks to see the Buccaneers lose, but I think the Patriots are somewhat back, which NFL fans kind of watch out. It sucks to see. And then my second takeaway is Jets having another bizarre win over the Browns for I think it was 27-20. Scored twice on special teams in the first half, going to half tied at 17 while having 2 offensive net yards. Insane. You don't see that. 2 net yards as an offense as a whole in the first half while being or while tied. Fields went 6 for 11, 54 passing yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Brees Hall absolutely carried this offense to having any chance of winning. 83 rushing yards, 43 receiving yards. He had well over 90% of Fields receiving or passing yards. And then Dylan Gabriel, 170 yards. Judkins, 75 rushing yards. Jerry Jeudy, 78 receiving yards and touchdown. And then my third one is kind of weird. It's kind of more stats than the game. And that is Marvin Harrison Jr., kind of compared to Trey McBride. Marvin Harrison Jr. had 12 targets and had 3 receptions for 33 yards. 12 targets for 3 receptions is insane. And then you look at the tight end, the guy who's on the field at the same time under the same quarterback. What's his name? Trey McBride or
Yeah,
McBride.
McBride.
13 targets, 9 receptions, and 127 yards. So I I don't know if all Brissett's bad throws were to Marvin Harrison Jr. or if they're just not on the same page. I don't know what's going on. Brissett looked pretty, manageable, but McBride, he made the most of his targets. And then Jackson Smith and Jigba, another big week, 93 yards and a touchdown. Could potentially be on the pace for breaking Megatron's record. We will see. But yeah, that is my 3 takeaways.
Yeah, I like all 3 of those takeaways. Quick comments on the second and third one. Funny thing I saw about the Jets game was someone making a joke saying that Brees Hall wanted to get traded so bad that now he's going to play so good to ruin their draft stock. I thought that was a funny comment that I saw. And then
That
for
is
the
funny.
third takeaway, as a Trey McBride fantasy owner, I'm absolutely loving it right now. Ever since Brissett has been the quarterback, he has not had a game under 20 points. So I'm loving that right now. But yeah, I do like all 3 of your takeaways there. All right, my first takeaway. This is a guy that has been flying under the radar. Sorry, I didn't mean to sound like Chris Collinsworth there. But this guy has been absurd this year, and it has not been talked about, I feel like, and that is Matthew Stafford in the Rams. Matthew Stafford is quietly putting together like one of his best seasons. The Rams are now 7-2. And overall this season, Stafford has thrown for 2,427 yards, which is 4th. And he's thrown for 25 touchdowns, which is 1st, and has only thrown 2 interceptions all year. So he's been absolutely dialed in. He's now had back-to-back weeks with 4 touchdowns. So he's looked incredible to start this year.
No Cooper Kupp, and Nakua was hurt for a while too.
Yeah, it's been very impressive what he's putting together there. And like I said, Rams are a 7-2 team, and it's kind of just flying under the radar.
Yeah.
It feels like because of all these other breakouts that are happening. All right, my second takeaway. This is more of an open-ended question. Despite the 49ers losing, Mac Jones did have a solid game, and he's done well for them with minus the Brock Purdy the Brock Purdy injury and stuff like that. So that leaves me with the question: Brock Purdy is expected to be healthy again. Do you start Brock Purdy right away, or do you keep going with the hot hand and Mac Jones?
Who do they play this week? Do you know?
I'm not 100% sure. I can look at that though.
Okay. I think it really depends on the opponent because if it's an easy game, someone not very good, I think Brock Purdy could be a good decision.
I believe
Um,
they're on their bye. So after that will be
okay,
when they come back, and
okay.
then they play
Yeah.
the Panthers after that.
Okay. I think that could be a good intro game for Brock, but don't get me wrong, I think Brock should be on a very short leash because that one week that he did come back from injury, he did not look good. Sure, he might have been forced back into the swing of things, but you got it's I've you've been hearing this for as long as Brock Purdy's been in the league. That offense, I think, is just a system offense. I think if you have a somewhat manageable quarterback, they can make good things out of it. Sure, they're kind of weak on the defensive side right now and aren't able to get things going. But yeah, I think it kind of shows light that anyone can play good in the offense, and it's a very short leash for Brock Purdy right now. And Mac Jones does have the upper hand, in my opinion.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I'm not too sure myself what they're going to do there. I think the one thing that might give Brock Purdy a chance is how good of a connection him and Kittle have. Mac Jones has seemed to have a
Hmm.
hard time getting Kittle the ball. I know Kittle did score this
Yeah.
last week and had a pretty nice game, but before that, there was kind of a disconnect there. But yeah, we'll see. I know Tom Brady made some comments on it. He said that he believes they should keep the hot hand with Mac Jones. We'll see what
Hmm.
happens there. And then my third and final takeaway is that I believe the AFC West is the best division in the league. It has Denver, who are 8-2 now, the Los Angeles Chargers, who are 7-3, and then the third place
Other
team
than
is
the
the Chiefs,
Raiders.
who are 5-4. But they're the Chiefs. We know what they're capable of at the end of the day. So
Hmm.
that's my third takeaway.
Yeah, I agree. I think the only one that can kind of rival that is what is that, the NFC West, with the Rams, the Rams, the Niners, and shoot, I'm blanking on the other team. Oh, Seattle. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
I think that's a big
Yeah. Other than
comparison, but
that,
big.
some weak divisions we got here.
Hmm.
Looking at the stats right now, the standings right now, those are kind of the two big powerhouses, and then the other ones are kind of weak. I'm not gonna lie. NFC
NFC
East
North's all right.
AFC East is this like technically the third best, I guess, but it's really only two good
Really?
teams with New England and Buffalo, and then
What?
obviously we saw Buffalo collapsed. So
Yeah,
yeah,
crazy.
all right. Well, that's gonna wrap up the NFL segment. We're now gonna head over to the NBA, and we're gonna start with another firing that happened. Nico Harrison, the GM of the Dallas Mavericks, has been fired. Yeah, let's have a discussion about this. Mason, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think it was. Everyone kind of saw this coming at some point. I thought it could have happened in the offseason. Find it kind of surprising it happened in the beginning of the season. If anything, it would have been in the middle of it. But yeah, I mean, I think you kind of saw him lose the fan base right after trading Luca. That's your guy. Seeing that go, he got somewhat bailed out getting Cooper Flag, but even that clearly didn't save his job. Just because that was based clearly off chance. There's no way he could have controlled anything with that. But yeah, it kind of had to happen.
Yeah, the only thing that shocked me about this firing is that it didn't happen 3 months ago. It
Yeah.
just felt like this was a matter of time. I've never seen someone make such a bad trade before, and I think his saving grace to why he was there for so long was that they lucked into the first overall pick and got Cooper
Right.
Flag.
He couldn't control
Um,
that. There's no.
yeah, exactly. But man, like that's just gonna it's gonna go down as the worst trade in NBA history, in sports
Yeah.
history.
Yeah.
It might even be like that's just
Honestly, yeah.
like he deserved to be fired as soon as that trade got released, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not
His
surprised that this
his
happened.
Shams fire him
Yeah,
right as soon as he gets
yeah.
public.
Did you see how Shams leaked it this morning?
Mm-mm.
He
No.
came out with a tweet saying that it's expected that Nico Harrison will be fired at a 10 a.m. meeting this morning. Like,
Oh my
imagine being
gosh.
Nico Harrison. You see, you have a meeting, you don't know what it's about. You just see Shams basically confirm you're fired. That's crazy.
Very new.
Someone said that the Lakers will go hire him. We'll see what happens with
Oh
that.
my gosh, dude. Bailed out.
All right. Next thing we'll talk about in the NBA is our player of the week. So Mason, who's your player for this week in the NBA?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Nikola Jokic. 31 points per game, 11 assists, 13.3 or 11 rebounds, 13.3 assists in the last four. Denver is 7-2 right now. They're just starting hot, being good, or a very good team, and Jokic started off hot, I think, as everyone expected. Um, has he had like a stretch of him just not playing well in the NBA?
I don't think so.
Like
I
he's
really don't
so
think so.
consistent. Like it just if he's not getting points, he's getting boards and assists. Like
Yeah.
it's just dude's a juggernaut. But yeah, that's my player of the week.
The only thing you could truly knock Jokic on is at times his defense, but like who cares when
Yeah,
you're as
it's
efficient as he
yeah,
is on
it's
offense? It doesn't matter. Like
no.
it's just ridiculous. Like these stats are video game stats. 31, 11, and
Yep.
13. Are you kidding me? Like, and he does this all the time. It's completely normal. Like no one bats an
It's
eye at
yeah,
it
I
anymore.
know.
It's just
That
expected from
60
him.
that 60-20-20 game last year
Yeah.
defied all physics with
Yeah,
numbers.
exactly. So I 100% agree with that player of the week pick. I'll go ahead and shout out the Eastern Conference player of the week, and that's Cade Cunningham, who has had a great
Yeah.
week himself with 31, 3-10. The Pistons are 4-0, so they've had a very good start to their season, and that's actually going to lead me to my team of the week. I did go with the Pistons there, who are 9-2 overall, first in the East, and looking like a really good basketball team. So yeah, that's my team of the week. So I'll let you go ahead now.
Yeah, I picked them as well. I was
Okay.
just gonna say they're only two losses this season were in the first four games. Other than that, they've been, you know,
Yeah.
on one and just been balling. So yeah, shout out Pistons.
Yeah, fun team to watch. And then I guess I'll throw out a different team on the negative side. The Pacers 1-9, man. That's just what a fall from a fall from grace. Like you made the finals last year, and I get that Tyrese Halliburton's out, and a lot of their other players are out too. So that is why they're struggling a lot. But man, 1-9 is just crazy. It really shows how valuable Tyrese Halliburton is and how he is one of the premier players of this league. And I know I was even just looking back at that run he had last year. That's one of the craziest runs I've seen from a single player performance ever. Um,
Yeah,
so yeah,
yeah.
shout out Tyrese Halliburton. It stinks to see the Pacers playing so bad. But you know, it happens. You don't have anything to say
All
about
right,
Tyrese
on to the
Halliburton?
next segment. We're
Okay,
gonna
all
go over
right.
the MLB.
Okay, yep. We're gonna go ahead and slide over to the MLB. It is awards season. The rookies of the years have been announced. We'll start with the AL Rookie of the Year. I don't think this was a surprise to anyone. Nick Kurtz has won the AL Rookie of the Year. Mason, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, I think it's well deserved. You heard his name pretty much every night, hitting another bomb or hitting two or three in a game and hitting a walk off or something. He was probably the most consistent offensive player or just player on that team. So huge shout out to him.
Yeah, I think this was the obvious pick. I would have been shocked if anyone else won this award. He was fantastic. Um, I mean, there was that game he had like what he went like 6 for 6 with 5 home runs or something crazy like that. And he missed the sixth one by like a
Yeah,
few feet.
yeah.
It was something crazy
Oh,
like
that's
that, and
right. I forgot about
like that,
that.
just that crazy stretch of baseball he was playing. So it wasn't
Hmm.
shocking there, and I won't say too much on that because I kind of have a bone to pick on the next one. We have the NL Rookie of the Year, who is Drake Baldwin. Mason, what are your thoughts on this one?
Um, Call me a casual, but honestly haven't heard his name too much this year.
Okay, thank you. That's going to help my point in a couple seconds here.
Go for it.
So you want to just let me go ahead and take it away because I'm chomping
Yeah,
at the bit
yeah.
here. Okay,
Go
Drake
for it.
Baldwin won Rookie of the Year, and I'm just going to throw out his stats. It was a good year, a great rookie year, yes, but a good year overall. He batted a 274 with 19 home runs, 80 RBIs, and an 810 OPS. That's a good season, especially as a rookie. But the guy who should have won was Cade Horton, and I don't care if it sounds biased. I'll stand on this hill. He should have won because Cade Horton wasn't only the best rookie pitcher, he was one of the best pitchers in baseball, point blank, period. Not out of the rookies, out of every single pitcher in baseball in that second half of the season, he was at the top of the list. Let me just let me just throw out Cade Horton's stats here. Cade Horton in the full season went 11-4 with a 2.67 ERA, 97 Ks, a 1.08 WHIP, and in the second half of the season, in 12 starts, he had a 1.03 ERA, an 8-1 record, 54 strikeouts, and 61.1 innings pitched. Let me just throw this out there too. The Braves' record was 76-86. They missed the playoffs. The Cubs 92-70 record, giving them their first playoff berth in over 5 years. So I cannot believe that Cade Horton was snubbed. This is terrible. It's bad for the sport of baseball. They gave it to Drake Baldwin. I'm convinced they gave it to Drake Baldwin because the Braves didn't win anything this year and they wanted to keep the Braves name relevant. That's the only thing I can think of because a lot of Cubs
That's
players were winning
crazy.
awards or something. Like they're like, oh yeah,
That's
well the Cubs already have
crazy.
3 Gold Glove winners. They have a
That's
Silver Slugger
nuts.
winner and Kyle
No way.
Tucker. We can't give them Rookie of the
Pump
Year too.
pump the brakes. Pump the
No, come
brakes a
on,
little bit.
dude, come on.
I
Like
no, I get it. I get it. I think they just got it wrong, point blank. Period. I don't think it was because Cubs are getting too many awards. I think they just got it wrong. I'm not saying he deserved it. I'm just saying it's not bias against the Cubs. They're not Cub haters. It's okay.
I think they
You
are.
don't have to be the victim. You don't have to be the
I
victim
think
right
they
now.
are.
It's okay.
I think they are.
Calm down. No, you're all right. I agree. The frustration is
1.03
valid.
ERA.
I get it. I get it. Go
Better than
win.
Paul
Go win the
Skeens,
World
better than
Series.
Tariq Skubal. Just throwing that
Go
out
win the
there.
World Series next year. How about that? Go prove him wrong. Do that. Let him be.
Well,
Let him be
I would
World
love
Series
to, Mason,
MVP.
but it's been pretty much confirmed Kyle Tucker is not coming back. So I don't think that's gonna happen. But that, you know what? That's maybe I should just do a Cubs sports report episode and go on a little rant on there. I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to try to
start with this
reel it back
segment
in.
and then just go into your
Yeah. Yeah.
sports report. Oh,
Okay.
that's
Sorry,
funny.
I had to get that off my chest. That's just that might be one of the biggest snubs in award history. I mean, that's just bad. Okay, maybe not. Okay, maybe not that bad, but
Award
I thought
history.
it was a shoe in. I really did. I was not expecting. Like usually I'm like, oh, it's a close race, you know.
Okay,
We'll see what happens
who would have been a name you would have been all right with over Cade
in the
Horton?
NL.
Yeah.
No one.
Oh, so you were locked in that he was gonna win NL Rookie of the Year.
I thought there was no chance that he was gonna lose
Okay.
because of how dominant he was on a
Was there
winning
any
team.
second you can think?
In all honesty, the only player that I thought that Caleb Durbin, who was the third candidate, had a better case than Drake Baldwin, because of how good the Brewers were, and he was a big reason why. But like I said, Drake Baldwin, he had a good year, and I guess I get he plays catcher, which is the most valuable position or whatever. But it's 19 home runs, dude. Like
Dude,
I could go hit 19 home runs. You know what I'm saying? Like
if he won NL Rookie of the Year, Judge is cooked. If it's the catcher thing, Judge is cooked.
yeah, we'll see what happens with the MVP award. I think you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Cal Rayleigh wins MVP now after this. I'm
Oh, so you're
flabbergasted that
saying
Cade Horton lost.
You're saying Judge should win it?
I'm gonna give my opinions when that award comes out.
Okay, okay.
I'll be just as animated as
You
I
will
am then.
not. You will
Yes, I will.
not. You
Yes,
will
I will, because I actually
no,
do have a
you
pretty firm stance on who I believe should win MVP. But
yeah,
we've
you
been
think it's
yapping a
gonna
lot
you
this
should be Cal
episode, so we
the
gotta pick this
most alright, go ahead. Go ahead.
up.
There's only one thing left.
And that's your segment. We're gonna go ahead and
Right.
slide over to the Mason special, which is college football. Mason, what are your takeaways?
Alright, so I only got 2 big ones that went down, and I think they were, insane and unpredictable. 2 Indiana just scrapes by Penn State, with 27-24 victory. Mendoza threw a touchdown to Omar Cooper Jr. in the final seconds, will also more than likely go down as the catch of the year. Unreal body control. I don't know if you saw the clip, Grant, but he's in the back of the end zone, and just you think he's gonna get that left foot down, swaps it at the last second, gets the right foot down, touchdown, pretty much game over. I don't think there was very much time left, but it was unreal. And my second takeaway was 9 Oregon beating 20 Iowa by 2 points. Atticus Sappington, one of the best names in college football, in my opinion, hit the game-winning field goal in the final seconds to advance Oregon to 8-1. Heartbreaking loss for Iowa. Almost snuck out with a win against a top caliber team like that. And yeah, shout out Atticus Sappington. I think that's such a cool name.
What a name. Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
I like to usually contribute one college football takeaway. So mine
What could
this
that
week is that wow, Carson Beck sucks at football. That dude is terrible. That's my takeaway there for this last week.
He's a Heisman favorite coming into the year. Huge
Wow.
shout out to DJ Lagway being trash as well. He actually got benched this week. So yeah, Florida football is on the down low.
Remember how
Better
good they
luck next
started
year.
out too?
All three teams, FSU,
Yeah.
Miami, and Florida, they were all ranked, and they all just went downhill. It happens.
Yep. Well, that's pretty much going to wrap up this episode. So thank you guys for tuning in to this week's episode of GM Sports Report, where every play counts. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to be able to see our weekly episodes on all things sports. For additional content, check the description to see links to our Instagram and TikTok account. This is Grant and Mason. Sign off for now. Have a great week, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Cade Horton should have won.